Barnaby Joyce has already put up a bill in the House of Reps to scrap the net zero target. Now you are putting up your own bill in the Senate to do exactly the same. Why is that?
Well, it is. I've got to give credit to my colleague Barnaby Joyce. It's taking his bill and putting it into the Senate. I'm doing that because I believe the Australian people deserve a debate on this. As we've just said, we've rolled over on this the last two elections. They haven't had a choice. There's been no election where the Australian people have had a real choice between both major political parties on whether to do net zero or not. So the Parliament's the best opportunity to do that outside of an election. So I support my colleague Barnaby Joyce when he told me he wanted to draft some legislation to repeal net zero a few weeks ago. My immediate reaction was, why didn't I think of that first? But he had the idea first. So I let him run with it. He's had enough time in the sun, so to speak, and now it's time for us senators to get stuck in as well.
Well, they're sure going to put the Liberals on the hook. They're really going to have to decide pretty fast where they go on this one, aren't they? I mean, wow. We are supposed to really to wait a whole year for them to make up their mind, Matt, honestly. The more you do to push them, the better. But I do want to ask you about these marches on Sunday. They were marches for our flag and against mass immigration. You know, Matt, what I think is really bothering most people is the idea of Australia, of one Australia, and Australian culture actually being washed away, whether it's by mass immigration or whatever, or people just giving up on spitting on the flag or whatever it is. And given that, I had trouble believing Victorian Labor Premier Jacinta Allen could say something so stupid on the eve of this march. It's like she was actually trying to confirm these fears. Listen to this.
Australia is a nation of foreigners, just like that wonderful song says. From all the lands on earth we come.
I mean, it's plainly idiocy because I, for one, am not a foreigner to this land. I was born here and born into a culture, Australian culture, which is again what another Labor Premier, South Australia's Peter Malinauskas, also didn't get because he was making out, also in response to the marches, that we're all in ethnic tribes, I guess. There's no Australian culture to unite us. So listen to this.
2.4% of the South Australian population is Indigenous. That means that 97.6% of South Australians have an immigrant heritage. I'm proud of mine, and I think most South Australians are proud of theirs. And the people who are protesting today are naive to this state and this nation's own history. Let me make this perfectly clear. The overwhelming majority of South Australians don't just tolerate diversity and multiculturalism, we celebrate it. It is part of who we are.
Matt Canavan, your response?
Well, I think you summed it up there, that that attitude is seeking to divide our nation into tribes. It's seeking to create, if you like, different classes of Australians, that somehow if you have a certain percentage, I suppose, or some Indigenous blood running through your veins, you're different than other Australians. I think it's a particularly regressive viewpoint that somehow you should be defined by your bloodline, so to speak. It's smacks of antebellum United States, which I thought we left behind for a start. And secondly, you're absolutely right that there is something distinctly unique about Australia. The way we have developed our culture in what is a harsh and unforgiving land, the way we support each other as mates, as fellow Australians. And of course, we come from all different types of ethnic backgrounds, but then we unite as Australians, as one people here in this big, great southern land. And that's what I believe most people out there, most good people out there on the weekend were marching for. They weren't marching to say that, hey, we should never have migration or we shouldn't welcome anybody in addition to this great country. They're saying we need to make sure we manage that migration in a way that protects our economic security, that protects our culture, and ensures that people coming to this country do subscribe to those Australian values. Like Peter, I've got some migrant heritage in my part, my ancestors as well. But they came here because they loved Australia and they integrated into Australia. They assimilated into Australia. There's nothing wrong with that. We should be trying to make sure that happens. Otherwise, we will have a divided and not cohesive society. I don't want to see that happen to this great country.
Yeah, their brand of multiculturalism is celebrating every culture but your own. And there's also a mistake in saying, as you pointed out, that the marches were against immigrants. I'm from an immigrant family. I enjoy my Dutch heritage and speak Dutch and all that, but this is not about anti-immigration. We're not self-hating in that regard. It is about too much immigration, too fast, and a washing away of the values that unite us, which is so important, as you suggest. Matt Canavan, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.